Hey everyone, so I'm going to show you some of my favorite sewing tools. Granted, some of them are more geared toward pattern making, but they're really great to have in your collection. So here we have a retractable tape measure, which is awesome because it not only has inches, but also has centimeters indicated on it. It is 60 inches long. These are my pattern weights. They're like little bean bags, and they're awesome because not only will they hold your fabric in place while you're cutting it, but they're good to use while pattern making as well. I think a tool that is essential for having at your sewing machine is some thread nippers. These are gingers. They remind me of like Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz, so that's pretty cute. I also have this Choco liner. So what this does is you can mark your seam allowances onto your fabric, and it comes in quite a few colors. Just be very careful with this because on some fabrics it can stain, but it is good when you are working with muslin or a fit sample because you don't have to worry about it damaging the fabric. This is a clover buttonhole cutter. They come in different sizes. This size is 12 millimeters. It has a very sharp edge, but it cuts the buttonhole for you so that you don't have to worry about accidentally cutting your stitching when you create a buttonhole. Here I have a few feet attachments for the sewing machine. This is a walking foot. This walks your fabric in the machine as you are sewing it. It is a little bit intimidating, but it makes easy for sewing stretch fabrics or silkier fabrics. I'm a little scared of this one, to be quite honest. This is a gathering foot. There are multiple uses with this. You attach it to your machine and it gathers the fabric for you. When you use this attachment, be sure to use a very wide stitch length, very long stitch length, and you will get wider gathers. You should use it mostly on lighter weight fabrics because on heavier weight fabrics, it has a tendency to get jammed a little. So think of your chiffons or shirtings or lighter weight evening fabrics. This is a baby roller hem foot, and this does a 1-inch double rolled hem. It is also better for lighter weight fabrics. Wax-free tracing paper. If you can't tell already, you can trace darts and any seam line indications onto your fabric. It does dust off of your fabric, but I would leave this to using with a fit sample first, which you can make in muslin. Here are a few different sewing machine needles. So we have here ballpoint needles, which are awesome for sewing knits and jersey fabric, stretch as well. A double hem stitch needle, which is when you put 2 spools of thread in your machine, and you can do some specialty hems, including sewing jersey and knits. And this is a pack of size 18 needles that is for heavier weight fabrics. I also have a loop turner, which has a tiny hook on the end, and it is on a long metal rod. And this gives you the ability to make spaghetti straps or to pull casing or any type of seam detail that you want to flip right side out, but mostly for spaghetti straps. I also have here a Clover 5-in-1 sliding gauge, which is awesome because this helps you mark the perfect seam allowance. I have not used it yet, but it is a tool that is completely foreign to me, and I can't believe I haven't heard of this before. So if you are having any issues with indicating seam allowance to be perfect and consistent, get one of these. Mostly because it is kind of like a press and release system, and it stays that perfect distance so you can mark onto your fabric if you prefer to have a guide when you're sewing. I also have this seam allowance guide, which is magnetic, and it lays right on top of your throat plate so that as you are sewing, you always get the perfect seam allowance. These are awesome. They are probably my absolute favorite tool for sewing because this is just, it makes everything easier. You don't have to worry about having uneven seam allowances or any issues with your fabric shifting at the machine as you're going. So these are some of my favorite sewing tools. I hope they helped, and I'll see you in the next video.